Howdy! Welcome to the Pokemon Snap Iceberg, where we'll be covering the original Pokemon Snap for the Nintendo 64, as well as the new Pokemon Snap on the Nintendo Switch. Many points on this iceberg were taken from PGJ1997 on Reddit, and some additional points have been added. Level 1. The Sky. 1. Cha. Quite noticeable is the sound Pikachu makes after consuming Pokemon food. A unique cha that is wholly different from both its in-game, anime, and other cries in canon media can be heard. 2. Special Pikachu pictures. Various special pictures of observable behaviors of Pikachu can be seen in the original Nintendo 64 version. Set on the aptly named Pokemon Island, these Pokemon are supposedly relatively undisturbed by humans, thus meaning their more natural behaviors may be recorded. However, Pikachu can be seen in various special picture events, such as riding a surfboard or flying through the air using a gaggle of balloons. Did it commandeer these items from a laboratory, steal them from a hapless or marooned traveler to the island, or acquire them from somewhere else? The flying balloon Pikachu occurs after a Pikachu is saved from being carried away by a Zubat, seemingly sprouting them from its back as it escapes with your help. How did it store, inflate, or get them in the first place? Regardless, Pikachu does well to use these human items in the world about it. 3. Charmander Group. The Charmander Group may be achieved in the volcano level by launching Pokemon food everywhere. One or more of the two Charmanders seen should start calling for the others, which soon scamper into view. Besides demonstrating a more pack-like mentality and an ability to share resources in this seemingly resource-bare environment, it helps to demonstrate just how dense local Pokemon populations may be. 4. Snap Stations. Pokemon Snap Stations were a Nintendo marketing campaign that utilized Pokemon Snap 64 and Pokemon Stadium games, wherein these game owners could bring in their cartridges to have a sheet of 16 stickers printed based on the photos they'd taken. Many such kiosks were commonly found at Blockbuster stores, and these stations also featured a demo of Pokemon Snap. 5. Wii Message Board Integration. With the virtual release of Pokemon Snap, players were able to post their pictures on the Wii message boards available. Specifically, in the gallery feature of the game, if one pressed the select button on their controller, the game would save the photo to the Wii message board. From there, in the Wii's operating system, one could save the photo to an SD card, or using Wii Connect 24, send the photo to people on your friend list. However, the Wii Connect 24 functionality ended on June 28, 2013. 6. Press A to do it. Professor Oak's dialogue asks the player to press A to do it, generally in reference to starting a course. Of course, as with the internet and many fandoms, it is most often taken into a more lewd context, especially when users pair this line with the half-lidded, smug expression of Oak's when paused, creating a semi-popular meme for the script. 7. Pesterball Rock. According to pre-release artwork and shots, the Pester Ball originally was set to resemble a rock, instead of the colorful, happy ball that instead releases noxious fumes upon the Pokemon surrounding it. It was most likely removed due to the implications of throwing literal rocks at child-friendly animals, although the gaseous Pester Ball in the final product doesn't seem to be much better. 8. Blastoise Cannons. As seen in new Pokemon Snap, Blastoise is able to eject powerful water streams not only from the cannons on its back, but from the bottom shell holes where its legs normally poke out. By ejecting these streams, it is effectively able to fly about the course, even with a passenger on its back. 9. Magikarp is in every stage except Rainbow Cloud. Clearly one of the most adaptive Pokemon found on Pokemon Island, Magikarp can be found in every area save for Rainbow Cloud. Could this suggest that Magikarp are, despite their apparent weakness, relatively hardy and are capable of surviving in various climates? or perhaps due to the high levels of predation this Pokemon experiences, it is more of a demonstration of the sheer reproductive strength necessary to allow the species to survive, filling the entire island with its spawn. Level 2. The Tip. 10. Fantastic Horror Ghost Level. A ghost theme level was originally intended for the first Pokemon Snap, with a spooky backing track theme entitled Fantastic Horror. Whether cut from the game due to time constraints or to prevent material that was too scary for a child-oriented audience, its full potential was never realized in this game. Still, there are fans that have surmised that the reason this area was scrapped from the game was because it would have shown a dilapidated or long since vacant town where its inhabitants mysteriously disappeared or died, thus resulting in the presence of so many ghost-type Pokemon. After all, human-made structures and a decommissioned power plant can be found throughout the island, so perhaps these ghosts truly would have been located at the site of their demise. 11. Jinx textures changed in Virtual Console release. Following along with previous icebergs and game updates, Jinx's model was changed from a black skin texture to a purple one in its Virtual Console debut in an attempt to remove the blackface depictions that had garnered widespread condemnation of this Pokemon and its subsequent changes. 12. Apple-shaped Pokemon food. While they are called fluff fruit in the new Pokemon Snap, the original game gave the player such Pokemon food once they reached 24,000 or more points, and it was described as apple-shaped. Other than being called Pokemon food, what exactly is it? It is apple-shaped, but explicitly not stated to be an apple. This description does nod to apples existing or once existing in this world, so is this a synthetic version created to take an apple's place? For example, fruit flavors have been recreated for since extinct or endangered items. The most common banana flavor in candies, while tasting different from the bananas that we most commonly know today, is actually closer to the flavoring of a banana species almost fully wiped out in the 1950s by the Panama disease, which was caused by the fungus Fusarium oxysporum fsp cubens. My apologies for the mispronunciation, which saw the decline of the Gross Michael banana. Could this apple-shaped fruit be a similar response to the decline in apples by some fungus or overconsumption by Pokemon? Thus, the fluff fruit, this Pokemon food, effectively acts as an apple replacement, and was similarly genetically cultivated to be resistant to such disease strains in the future. 13. 01. The 01, created by Professor Oak, is the machine that Todd Snap traverses in the first game. Capable of traversing the land, air, and sea, this vehicle is capable of keeping its occupant protected in various hazardous environments, such as the heat from a volcanic path. It is noted as not being steerable, instead relying upon a pre-programmed path by Professor Oak. While this lack of autonomy and driving aids in the ability for the occupant to focus on taking pictures, it presents a lack of reactivity to potential dangerous or geological occurrences, such as a flood or debris blocking a path, which could endanger the occupant. Additionally, this vehicle enters and exits through goal gates, which seem to teleport the vehicle and its occupant back to the lab. Professor Oak seems to be far more than a mere Pokemon professor, as his engineering prowess demonstrates by his creation of a protected all-terrain vehicle and teleportation gate system. Could this be the technology from a since-past war or a testing ground, an uninhabited Pokemon island from which he can practice with such technology? 14. Hat-loving gamer animations. A YouTuber by the name of Hat-Loving Gamer has made various videos of modes made for Pokemon Snap, such as a city course that sees a Machoke sitting next to a sad sign proclaiming "No friends to trade with," or the Bob-omb battlefields from Super Mario 64, now littered with various Pokemon to snap photos of. These animations, like many fan projects, bring to life various elements and locales that longtime fans have longed to see in the game. 15. Pokemon Paparazzi Anime Episode. In Episode 55, Pokemon Paparazzi, the titular player character of the original Snap game, Snap, makes its debut as Todd, or Todd Snap. A noticeable error in Todd's unsuccessful pictures of Pikachu is that the stripes along Pikachu's back are absent. Among various other visual errors, the Japanese documents reveal him to be but 10 years of age, just like Ash, and was known to be able to catch any Pokemon on film. This character link suggests that Pokemon Island, which Professor Oak has access to, is most likely canon as some sort of private reserve or defunct township. 16. Nintendo 64 DD Build. The 64DD was a peripheral for the Nintendo 64 that was meant to give the system far more features and capabilities. This peripheral would have given the Nintendo 64 a real-time clock and the ability to connect to the internet. The only problem was, due to delays, it was released very late into the Nintendo 64's run. For reference, the Nintendo 64 launched in 1996 and the 64DD released in 1999. Add to this, it was only available in Japan with only a reported 15,000 units being sold. As a result, it was a complete failure. Originally, the small development team, headed by Yuichi Yamamoto, with Satoru Iwata and Shigeru Miyamoto, were designing the game to fit the 64DD's capabilities, emerging at Space World 1997 with other 64DD games such as Mario Artist, with an initially intended release date of fall 1998 for this Pokemon Snap. Of course, this would be delayed to 1999 and would see it switch to the Nintendo 64 console. 17. Tie-in Choose Your Own Adventure Book. Like the other Pathways to Adventure books written by Jason R. Rich, the one entitled Pokemon Snap follows much of the plot of the game with a photo score index of the author's best scores for each Pokemon. Of course, the reader could flip to each section they wished, with each chapter focusing on a particular area and guiding them through the story that is sometimes left unsaid in the games. 18. Ekans in IGN Showcase. Some cut content from the original Snap featured a safari-esque area with Ekans, with a Pokemon even featuring in the pre-release IGN Showcase of the beta. No reason has ever been given for its final omission, although some fans argue that, since its movements had already been coded in, that it could have easily been relocated to another area even with the removal of this safari area. 19. Neo 1. The Neo 1 is the successor to Oak's 01 and is presumably made by Professor Mirror. Like its predecessor, it is capable of handling harsh environments with some notable improvements, such as being able to withstand the pressure of being who knows how deep in the ocean, the freezing climes of a snow biome, or within an active volcano chasing a fiery Volcarona. However, given Todd Snap's appearance and his apparent relationship with Professor Mirror, could he be a link between Professor Oak and Mirror, thus alluding to Professor Oak having a hand in the Neo 1's creation? Regardless, the advanced technology of the Neo 1 suggests either a keen mindset and engineering capabilities, access to expensive or secretive technologies, or both, seeing as many of the known vehicles in the Pokemon world, such as cars and trains, are, by all accounts, normal in their capabilities. It is only when we see evil organizations, the extremely wealthy, or scientists that such technology is seen as being available. 20. Crash Debugger. The original game has a crash debugger. To open it, crash the game in some way, then enter the following code: ZRL, D up, C up, A, D left, B, D right, D down, C down. And this should make the game operational once more. 21. Oak's AI. Many fans have decried the AI of Professor Oak in the original Pokemon Snap, particularly in regards to his ratings of snapped Pokemon pictures. While some patterns are fairly straightforward, such as pictures being centered or the Pokemon facing the camera, others seem a bit more arbitrary or otherwise inconsistent to some, meaning there is quite a bit of salt when trying to max out these pictures. Level 3. Under the Surface. 22. Jack and the Beanstalk Prototype. Pokemon Snap, according to former Nintendo president Satoru Iwata, first started development as an unrelated project named Jack and the Beanstalk. Very little is known about this iteration aside from it being about taking pictures, though it may have made use of the 64DD's special features, like the clock for example, and may have had some connection to the fairy tale of the same name. The development team working on it was codenamed Jack and Beans, which explains the presence of a Jack and Beans logo in the final game's intro. However, according to Iwata, said development team realized that there wasn't any real goal or motivation to play the game, and as such ended up turning the project into a Pokemon-based game to give it some appeal and direction. 23. Jigglypuff on stage is Jigglypuff from the anime. The Jigglypuff on stage in the original Snap game is the one found in the anime, holding the unique microphone-based pen, unlike the others in the scene, and it comically puffs up when its performance does not go as planned. It also sings the same exact song entitled The Song of Jigglypuff. If this truly is the same Jigglypuff from the anime, how did it get here? Perhaps it hitched a ride on whatever vehicle Professor Oak utilized to get here, or perhaps there are some underground tunnels akin to the Grand Underground of Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, which allow Pokemon to freely travel between seemingly landlocked or sea-locked areas. Similar to the Ash Greninja in the Alola region, this also links the games to the anime's official canon. 24. Shrinking Humans in Pokemon Neo 1. An unlocked ability of the Neo 1 grants the vehicle and its occupant the ability to shrink down, not unlike how a Pokemon does when entering a Pokeball. The player shrinks down and enlarges with no obvious side effects. Not only an incredible technological feat that goes beyond teleportation seen in the games by the 01 and Neo 1, but could this be a potential signification that humans are to some degree Pokemon or are otherwise capable of the same shrinking capabilities? When Team Rocket's Jessie is hit by a Pokeball and she is enveloped and seems to resist being sucked in, it is generally seen that the process was incredibly painful, with some commenting that it looks like the human was tased during the process by this energy. Could whatever has been done to the Neo 1 be one step to the process of being able to catch humans? 25. Snap changed to Todd due to Rice Krispies lawsuit. Snap from the original games was renamed to Todd, aka Todd Snap, because of potential issues with Kellogg's over one of the mascots bearing the same name of Rice Krispies. The episode was thus redubbed and aired in the United States with his name as Todd. The Snap dub was used in the airings outside of the United States for Pokemon Paparazzi for this reason. When Cartoon Network gained the rights to air first-run episodes of Pokemon and stream older episodes on Toonami Jetstream, they chose to use the Todd dub, retconning his full name to Todd Snap. 26. Caterpie and Nintendo Power ad. While Metapod and Butterfree can be found in the final game, Caterpie is noticeably absent. However, in the Nintendo Power Pokemon Strategy Guide, a modeled Caterpie can be seen. Unlike Ekans, it seems to have made it even further along in production for it to feature in such promotional materials. 27. Lentil Region. As with many Pokemon regions, the Lentil region is home to a wide range of biomes in its archipelago. How is it possible that a boiling hot volcanic island is so close, seemingly, to an Arctic one? Simply put, the legendary or type-specific Pokemon aid in its reinforcement. Many believe the region to be based off of the Galapagos Islands, particularly due to the explorer, Captain Vince, that discovered these new, never-before-seen evolutionary anomalies, i.e. the Illumina Pokemon, and sought to document them, as Charles Darwin did in his notes on evolution and the ecology of the islands. Additionally, just like the Galapagos Islands, never-before-seen or evolutionarily divergent Pokemon, such as the giant Illumina Pokemon, can be found, such as the unique Galapagos tortoise or other creatures. 28. The legendary birds hatch from eggs despite being unable to breed. Uniquely shown in this game, the legendary bird Pokemon, such as Zapdos, can be seen as unique eggs that hatch into these powerful legendary Pokemon. In the games, such legendary Pokemon are unable to breed, so what is happening here? Perhaps this is an indication that such legendary Pokemon can only have a certain population in the wild. For example, perhaps as one dies, another one may be born or hatch, thus keeping the natural order and amount of these Pokemon within an acceptable range, particularly due to their incredible power. Is this natural? Something imposed by Arceus's power, perhaps? Or is the longevity of these Pokemon an offshoot of this, meaning that they only breed once every generation, thus they are unable to breed during the normal time of the games or in captivity? Level 4. Center of the Iceberg. 29. Floating Shelter and Cloyster. In the original Pokemon Snap, both Shelter and Cloyster can be seen floating or flying high above water areas. In all other media, from the show to the games, Shelter has never demonstrated any capability to levitate or recreate such feats. In the anime, Cloyster is shown to swim in the water or rest on the land as well. The only debatable variance in this comes with some of Cloyster's sprites in the games and their newer 3D models, which emulated hovering to some degree. At most, one may presume that the only way in which they would be capable of such aerial feats would be through propulsion similar to Blastoise's expulsion of water. Akin to Geodude, some of the other fish Pokemon like Lantern, could such Pokemon have levitation as a more meta-stylistic choice to simulate their natural movement patterns that would be otherwise unfeasible to recreate on land? Imagine a Lantern flopping sadly about on its side as it is not in the water, for example. But what about here in the original Pokemon Snap? They are so far above the water that it is more than a simple stylistic choice. Could they really be capable of such feats? 30. Snap Station Keychain. Exclusively coming with a Pokemon Snap Station Blockbuster Video kiosk, this keyring was not available for retail. As with many smaller collectibles, some have been lost over the years, and due to their rarity, the ones that do make their way online tend to sell for a nice little sum. 31. Real-life statues of Pikachu on a stump. In the original game, Pikachu can be photographed while on a tree stump after certain conditions have been met. Specifically, if you manage to flush out the Scyther from the first patch of tall grass, several Pikachu will run out as well and stand amidst some fallen trees. This shot is automatically worth 1,300 points. If you play the Pokeflute and get the electricity flowing, you can earn even more points. Capturing this unique pose elicits a "Wow, it's Pikachu on a stump" from Professor Oak, to the amusement of many fans. This imagery has been recreated in official capacities as well, with real-life Pokemon statues of Pikachu standing on a stump and flashing a peace sign can be found. 32. Unfortunately, there are no in-flight snacks on this trip. In the official strategy guide, the explanation for the 01's hovercraft mode states that Since the crumbling rock walls of the cave are too unstable to support a vehicle, jet thrusters activate to enable the 01 to hover safely. Unfortunately, there are no in-flight snacks on this trip. Many see this as an intentional attempt at missing the point, if you will. That is, ignoring the fact that the player will be traversing dangerous, unstable environments. Unlike commercial plane flights, which feature in-flight snacks, the purpose of this vehicle is scientific and a point of observation for the ecology of the island, making the official statement nothing more than a simple joke that I have consequently murdered in my attempt to explain it. 33. Kiosk Demo. The kiosk demo was, like the name implies, available at the printing kiosk stations as a form of advertisement for the game and allowed one to play the first 2 levels. The cartridges of this demo are equally as rare as the keychains and kiosks themselves, with demo only, not for resale, printed across the front. However, various fan outlets have begun to recreate these demos in unofficial capacities, making the demo experience available to more fans. 34. Professor Mirror is Todd's father. Due to their similarities, fans have speculated that new Pokemon Snap's Professor Mirror is Todd Snap's father. Due to Professor Mirror's years of dedication to cataloging rare Pokemon such as Illumina Pokemon, Todd perhaps initially signed up with Professor Oak to capture Pokemon and learn the skills necessary to help his father realize his dream. Taking this info back to his father, or, after he learned to love photography from this, he made his way in the world, working for Oak and working as a freelancer, like we see in the anime. Adding to this is the fact that the two seem to have known one another for a while, possibly even before the development of the Neo 1. He is also said to have worked with Professor Mirror to design the Neo 1, which is quite useful given his first-hand experience with the 01. 35. Crystal Blooms and Illumina Orbs. A unique specimen of each of the main regions of Lentil, unique crystal blooms can be found. These rare crystal flowers possess some unique power, with the Professor's Illumina Orbs created from their unique regional essences. They have the inherent power to affect the behavior of Pokemon that come into contact with them, creating a glowing sheen over normal Pokemon and eliciting intricate glowing patterns over the giant Illumina Pokemon. What has caused the crystal blooms to grow, and what is the source of their power? Is there some ancient root system or Pokemon yet to be discovered deep below the ground, or is it merely an aspect of Xerneas' power, perhaps connecting the roots of these rare flowers together to give them their power when it is in its tree form? 36. Illumina Pokemon. Could Illumina Pokemon be the result of the consumption of the crystal blooms? Xerneas seems to be the main guardian or custodian of the ruins and, potentially, the source of the Illumina Pokemon's power. For example, the Illumina Pokemon that we meet in-game are all species depicted in the ancient murals: Meganium, Milotic, Steelix, Wishiwashi, Volcarona, and Xerneas itself. As Xerneas can turn into its tree form and rest for 1,000 years, it makes sense that this is the same Pokemon from all those years ago. Its unique powers also allow it to share eternal life. Thus, who's to say that all of these Illumina Pokemon are not the same ones depicted as well, having been bestowed with immortality from Xerneas to remain as protectors until they are needed once more. With the exception of Steelix and Onix, no other Illumina Pokemon species or pre-evolutions have been seen in the Lentil region. Does this make the other 5 effectively the last of their kind here? 37. Vileplume's eyes are open while it's sleeping. Rather, when sleeping, Vileplume's eyes can occasionally be seen as being open in an altogether uncanny and unsettling way. Level 5, Lower Half. 38. 6 Signs. There are 6 different Pokemon signs in Pokemon Snap. Finding all of these signs unlocks the level where Mew is found. The Pokemon are as follows: Kingler, Pinsir, Cubone, Coughing, Mewtwo, and Dugtrio. Again, 6 Pokemon, not unlike the number of Illumina Pokemon. Given the now defunct power station as well as Mewtwo, and other facets of this island that look more modern than the ones of the Lental region, one might assume that this area was subject to a similar cataclysmic event as the Lental region, which may have necessitated 6 new guardian Pokemon. Is it just happen chance that many of the statues or geological structures of these Pokemon are often bigger than their main counterparts? Again, just like the Illumina Pokemon. While the disaster is unclear, could it have been a similar meteor-like scenario or one of man-made creation? Are the Cubone, Kingler, and Dugtrio formations actually the calcified or petrified remains of fallen Illumina Pokemon, akin to the petrified statues of Pokemon outside of Geosenge Town in the Kalos region? What caused this? Did humans fear these Pokemon, leading to the slaughter of these islands' guardians? Mewtwo can be seen in a constellation-esque form, coughing in a gaseous form, and pincer through the light projected over remains and debris. Did something more horrific rob these Pokemon of their mere physical forms, leaving their essences in the odd states that we capture them in? 39. Mew is the wrong shade of pink. In Rainbow Cloud, Mew can be found, featuring a very light whitish pink body, with darker pink points on its toes and tail. While this fits to some degree its original artwork, this pattern is not recreated in its in-game sprites or later depictions in subsequent games, adopting instead a more uniform color without the accents. In the meta sense, is this simply a matter of artwork and designs being updated, like with Pikachu becoming slimmer over the years? Or is it evidence of a unique Pokemon adaptation or other biological occurrence, such as spiky-eared Pikachu, Mewtwo's clone Pokemon, and the like? As Mewtwo is shown to exist here, could this Pokemon Island have been the site of another, arguably more successful Mew cloning procedure? Many fans believe that Professor Oak, like Mr. Fuji, was involved in Mewtwo's creation. Also, Oak is known for his fascination for fossils, as shown in Fossil Fools, where we learn Ammonite inspired him to become a professor. It wouldn't be a huge stretch to envision him working with the other scientists of Cinnabar Island on fossils, such as the one of Mew. Perhaps he is on this island to document this Mew or otherwise recreate it far from the people that sought to use Mewtwo for more nefarious means. 40. Magikarp evolving in the Valley stage references Chinese mythology. As Magikarp begins to jump in this area, it is seen evolving in or towards the top of a waterfall in a nod to the Chinese mythological tale of the carps leaping over the Dragon Gate. According to the legend, the carps that leap over a legendary waterfall, called the Dragon Gate, are rewarded for their perseverance and transformed into dragons, which Magikarp, by its very name, references the weak carp that becomes the serpentine Chinese-esque dragon Gyarados, which is capable of flight. 41. Pester Ball colors in Pokemon Go menu, which has since been removed. When the main menu button in the map view is held and then the player slides to each of their 4 icons of the menu without lifting their finger, a colored glow temporarily appears, showing orange for Pokemon, red for Pokédex, blue for items, and purple for shop. Although these colors might not be significant, they do resemble colors of a Pester Ball. A Pester Ball is a lesser-known Pokeball that made its appearance, of course, within Pokemon Snap. In the game, the Pokeball has the same effect as a repel, which helps the photographer take photos of Pokemon. It is also special because it has 4 different colors: red, orange, blue, and purple. The center of the Pokeball is purple, then going clockwise, the outer layer is divided into 3 equal parts of orange, red, and blue. Why was this removed from Pokemon Go? And why was it included in the first place? 42. Teller Meteorite. Professor Mirror has a theory that 2,000 years before the events of new Pokemon Snap, there was a meteorite, known as the Teller Meteorite, that supposedly impacted a wide area and caused massive amounts of damage. But throughout all of the ecological surveying that has been done of the areas, no one has found any evidence of this supposed damage. And the professor also theorizes that it was this strange meteor that granted the Illumina Pokemon and Crystal Blooms their power. However, murals in the Outaway Cave and Ruins of Remembrance indicate that the Illumina Pokemon existed before then, and that they were responsible for warding off the disaster that the meteor would have caused, and presumably, it was this great expenditure of energy that caused Xerneas to retreat into its tree form, and perhaps this is the reason that the other Illumina Pokemon have not been seen for so long, as they have been effectively hibernating to regain their strength. 43. Sea Life Safari. Inspired heavily by Pokemon Snap, Sea Life Safari is a game for Microsoft Windows and Xbox 360 that follows the same format as Snap. The player would snap photos of undersea creatures both extinct and modern, and, when done, they would go back up to the professor, who will rate their photos on a 3-star scale based on what's going on in the photo and how good of a picture it is. Sounds quite familiar. You'll earn more points for reaction shots, other fish being in the background, and a few other bonus points. You can save your favorite photos in a little scrapbook as well. Again, the gameplay seems pretty cut and dry from Pokemon Snap, with various people claiming that it is nothing more than a shameless Pokemon ripoff. And while Pokemon does not corner an exclusive market on photography games, it still has been hard for many reviewers to resist bringing up its predecessor. 44. Unknown 4 USF and Unknown 5 USF. A USF information dump of the game can be found floating around online that contains 2 files named Unknown 4 and Unknown 5. These are the sound effects that play when, allegedly, beating a new challenge score and creating a new save file respectively. Of course, nothing is known as to why they were excluded in the first place. 45. Ruins of Remembrance. Found in new Pokemon Snap, the Ruins of Remembrance are a seemingly intricate set of ruins with a shrouded history. Additional ancient ruins can be found throughout every single island. The 5 unique crystal blooms from all of the islands can be found in the main structure, surrounded by oddly carved statues that glow when activated and all connect to a large tree, perhaps the source of their power, or, as some predict, the way in which the Illumina Pokemon may be contacted. Obviously, these statues and structures did not manifest naturally, so how did they come here? Are they solely the result of ancient humans, or humans and Pokemon working together to honor Xerneas or to help it stave off the cataclysmic meteor? As user Robert Christian of Reddit postulates, in new Pokemon Snap's final chapter, we learned there was a meteor that would hit the Lental region about 2,000 years ago. Xerneas and the other Illumina Pokemon created a barrier around the region to protect it. The characters then start formulating questions regarding who built the Ruins of Remembrance and for what purpose. His theory describes the Ruins of Remembrance as a now abandoned laboratory created by ancient humans, presumably to monitor this incoming meteor. So the question we are formulating is, what role does each Pokemon represent in building this supposed laboratory? There are 14 Pokemon you can snap photos of in Aurus Island, but I'm only discussing 7 of them as the remaining half could have easily inhabited these ruins following natural causes. First, an added layer of security. I'll start with Houndoom, whom we see patrolling the area at the very beginning of the level. Houndoom's design is loosely based on a Doberman Pinscher, a breed traditionally used as a guard dog. Therefore, Houndoom's role is quite simple, to guard against and ward off any potential threats in the immediate vicinity that may derail the operation. When reading the description for the research request, Houndoom's breather, Professor Mirror even says, Houndoom always seems to be on guard, keeping an eye on its surroundings. Further into the area, we can encounter Sigilyph patrolling the inside of the ruins. Its Pokédex entry across every mainline series game so far consistently addresses Sigilyph as a guardian of an ancient city. Sigilyph here serves as a sort of emissary, keeping watch for intruders, and is essentially used as an alarm system, much like those anti-theft sensors you would see at a retail store. Did these Pokemon help build the ruins? even deeper into the ruins, we also run into some Golurk. We could continue along the line of security, as its Pokédex entry states that it was created to protect people and Pokemon. But in this situation, Golurk is better suited to act as a laborer, or rather a Pokemon version of a forklift, which isn't far off from this Pokemon's lore. Golurk are giant automatons created by ancient humans, so it makes sense that they would utilize their strength to lift heavy objects. Behiem's role, in turn, is that of an engineer who repairs or rewires this being with limitless power. Behiem's Pokédex entry says that it uses its psychic power to tamper with and rewrite opponents' memories. You could say that when we see this psychic-type Pokemon communicating with Golurk, it's giving it new commands, so to speak. A legendary Pokemon is a power source. At first, we thought that Behiem could have been used as a power source, but Behiem is canonically not as powerful as some of the other Pokemon in these ruins. Instead, the role is filled by Jirachi, which can be found as a post-game encounter in the Ruins of Remembrance. It's a Pokemon heavily coveted for its power because of its ability to grant wishes. However, in the movie Pokemon Jirachi Wishmaker, we learned that Jirachi is awake for 7 days once every 1,000 years. Maybe they found Jirachi to be an unreliable power source and only used Jirachi as a prototype before resorting to their actual power source, Xerneas. How did they even know there was a meteor at all? Humans and Pokemon worked together to build this lab so that Xerneas and the other Illumina Pokemon could protect the Lintel region from the meteor. Knowing the roles these Pokemon could have played in this event, the real question is, how did they know there would be a meteor at all? We could theorize that Xerneas informed them all, since the legendary and mythical Pokemon in every Pokemon movie can't communicate with humans telepathically. But that wouldn't be a very creative way to tie this theory together. After keeping replaying the level, and the answer finally hit us when we reached level 3 at the Ruins of Remembrance and saw Absol. Absol is known as a Pokemon that can sense impending danger. Spoilers ahead for the movie Pokemon Jirachi Wishmaker. Referencing the Jirachi movie again, Absol comes to alert Ash and his friends about the danger the antagonist poses by wanting to harness Jirachi's power to resurrect Groudon. In the same manner, we can theorize that they were somehow alerted by Absol about the incoming meteor and started building what we know as the Ruins of Remembrance. TLDR? To summarize this theory, some of the Pokemon inhabiting the island played a significant role in building this now abandoned laboratory that was designed to stop a meteor from impacting the Lintel region 2,000 years ago. Houndoom and Sigilyph were alarm systems, Golurk was a laborer, Behiem played the role of an engineer, and Xerneas was the power source that Jirachi was originally intended to be. And lastly, Absol was the warning sign that ties this entire story together. The remaining Pokemon in this level simply inhabited the island following natural causes. And that concludes this very simple Pokemon Snap Iceberg. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you have any additional thoughts, considerations, or theories of your own, share them down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.